Welcome back, friends. This is Quest for You, my podcast to help you find back to yourself by reflecting a little bit more, taking some more time out of your day to ask questions that you normally don't ask, to get rid of some distractions and to become more attuned with yourself. This is what this is about, the quest for you, and I'm here to help you on this journey. And today I want to talk about communication. I've recently attended a leadership class that was all about the different types of communication styles, adjectives that describe what type of communication style we have, and so on. And when I walked away from that class, I did a little bit more research on my own on communication styles. And when I started searching, I found so many different models, different graphs and illustrations on how the different styles interact. I took assessment tests and I noticed that I'm never really exactly one type of communicator. There's always other areas that I also fall into. So I reflected a little bit on communication and I thought, what is really important when it comes to communication? And that is what I want to share with you today. So many forms and so many models, but what do we do with this knowledge once we know we're a certain type of communicator? My suggestion is we focus on something more important when it comes to communication. Recognizing and understanding that there are different approaches and styles is a good start. But the question is this: how are you going to communicate effectively? What will you do to bring your best to any conversation that you might have? And what does it take to have a conversation where you both walk away feeling engaged and inspired? We don't need complex models to have an amazing conversation with another person. We don't need to take assessments and workshops on communication to finally be heard and understood by others. I believe all we need is 3 approaches to communication. And I think when you bring them every time, you'll find that you can talk to anyone, people from all different backgrounds and people you might completely disagree with. And on top of that, you might risk the chance of making a friend. One is presence. Here's a quote from Marianne Williamson. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Presence is a grounding and harmony in this very moment. To have presence requires being present in the here and the now. Presence is not living in the past, remembering what the person did or said to you yesterday or last year. Presence is also not living the future, with you planning out what you will say next, how you're going to defend yourself and make your point. Presence is your full and undivided attention to the person across from you. It's a state of keen awareness and attention in your moment-by-moment interactions with others. Presence is characterized by your sincere interest in the thoughts and feelings of those you hope to influence, motivate, and inspire. Presence is showing up. It's being there when the situation calls for it, even when you don't feel like it. When the stranger on the street unexpectedly speaks to you, or when a family member suddenly needs you. It's the physical alertness and an emotional acceptance with what is in front of you, in the here and now. And then presence is visible. It reflects in your composure, your eyes, and your gestures. Sincere presence doesn't need to be announced. When the conversation becomes more personal, more honest, and more engaging, then you know you have presence. Because presence creates the space for more. 2, curiosity. And I couldn't express the meaning of curiosity any better way than in this quote from Brené Brown. If we are going to change what is happening in a meaningful way, we're going to need to intentionally be with people who are different from us. We're going to have to sign up and join and take a seat at the table. We're going to have to learn how to listen, have hard conversations, look for joy, share pain, and be more curious than defensive, all while seeking moments of togetherness. I talked about curiosity on previous episodes, but it's worth mentioning because it's fundamental in any communication that we have. Curiosity has an innocence, an acceptance, and a willingness to learn, an openness to what is happening, rather than a reliance on snap judgments. Curiosity requires that you put yourself aside a little and allow room for the other person. And I know this is hard. We're always looking for opportunities to jump in and share how something that the other person said also relates to us. So, curiosity requires some patience, setting aside your personal opinion, and letting go of showing yourself off to the world. Curiosity instead is showing interest in the other person without bringing the focus back to you. It also requires some vulnerability, admitting that you don't know everything and being open to hearing things you may not agree with. Being curious means that you enter every conversation with the mindset that you can learn something, knowing and accepting that everyone you'll ever meet knows something you don't, and that exactly this can enrich your life. And just like presence, curiosity is also noticeable. It's in the questions you ask and in the way you listen. And it's in the unselfish attitude that you bring to the conversation. And 3, connection. In the words of Brené Brown, true belonging is the spiritual practice of believing in and belonging to yourself so deeply that you can share your most authentic self with the world and find sacredness in both being a part of something and standing alone in the wilderness. True belonging does not require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. I think communication is less about talking, but a lot more about cultivating real connection with other people. When you bring your attentive presence and a natural and honest curiosity, then something magic can happen in your conversation. Connection. Connection is this rare moment when we feel heard, understood, and deeply tied to the energy of another human being. There's a flow of positive engagement, a feeling of being understood without having said everything, and a sense of wonder at how good it all feels. It's a point of arrival when you know this is it. This person was meant to cross my path. True connection is difficult work, but it's rewarding in the end. It requires that you allow yourself to be seen, really seen, just the way you are. And then you have everything you need for your best conversation. Much love.